these are most important things that we need everyone to know before they get to the process of funding, because you need to make sure your credit that is gonna, if it needs to be repaired, is gonna be done in order for you to get to the next level. Okay, and so I have a question before I go over this. Who knows what will happen if you're not paying your bills? That you didn't pay your bills, what is going to happen to your credit? Okay, it's going to be bad.
Go down.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Any other explanation? So we need to keep up with the bills. You need to pay, even though you are in a process of fixing your credit, you still need to continue to pay your bills. Because when you get you in the process of fixing your credit, the person who's doing fixing your credit is taking care of the things that you didn't do for a long, long time. So we don't want you to add new things. After you clean up and then you add a new thing, you're going to start all over again. So that's going to delay for you to go to the next level. So the things we don't want you to do, they do not. The first things we need to, don't stop paying your bills. It's on your package there. Next thing, don't try to get any type of payday loan. That is gonna put you in your, a negative on your credit. Even though probably you didn't know, but if you ask for payday advance, it's gonna show up on your credit. So that is a negative. Now those are new things that you're not supposed to. That's what I say, do not disturb your credit. When you're in the credit process, do not disturb your credit. Third thing, don't allow anybody to pull up your credit, meaning that if you're going to try and ask for a loan, they're going to pull your credit, and that is going to show up negative again. So you're supposed to be freezing. You're in a freezing process. So do not do anything. Do not try to rent a car, because that's going to pull your credit again. They're going to pull your credit. Do not try to buy a car, right? And if you continue disturbing your credit in any way, we have 10% chance of the person to try to fix your credit. And that means you start all over again. So those are the things that we need to bring it up for the new people and the ones who are in the credit process to know, because that delay now you to get to the next level. So that's why we have the handout. So, you need to make sure we say we have all we need to be in a one lane. We don't want you to take freeway. We just all want to be in one-on-one. That's how we're going, one-on-one freeway. We don't want you to take 85, 205, none of that. So we all need to do this to get to where we want to be at. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about.
I'll do some ideas with that. Okay. Any questions? Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over. I'm not going to mention any names, right? It just, it's us. We as a group. I want to tell you basically where we are. So we have. We started actually with, fair to say, about 22 people, all right? Now, with the start, right, 12 people, okay, the first group was 12 people. These are the ones we sponsored, not the others. Okay, the first group, right, it was 12 people. And these 12 people we talking about because we sponsored these 12 individuals. Out of the 12 people, right, we ended up with 7 people completing creditchecktotal.com. That was the first thing that we asked to do. And that's very important, because the only way we can move forward with what we're trying to do is you got to get on creditchecktotal.com. Because those who clear up your credit, right, that's where they pull from, and they got to pull it immediately, and then we get you to cancel it, or we get you to cancel and tell you to take on the introductory rate, right, which is $14.95 a month, which you have it over for 2 months. That's why we say on the card you got to have at least $32 on the card. What we noticed is, though, it was only 7 people that completed the credit check total. And out of the 7, some of them, right, disturbed their credit. Everything she was just talking about there, right, you know, they disturbed their credit one way or another. Everything that she mentioned is everything that she saw what the credit, the gentleman that's doing the credit, sent back to us saying, this is what's going on. They can't, everything freezes. When you disturb your credit, everything freezes because that's why they tell you do not disturb it, don't get any loans whatsoever, because what happens is, right, then somebody's pulling your credit and pulling your numbers down when they're trying to bring your numbers up. And it's not going to work because by the time they're finished, you got this negative stuff that knocked it down, and we're trying to get you to a certain level, which is at least a 680. If we get you to a 680, we can get you to 730 when you go into funding. But if we can't get you to the 680, we can't move you nowhere else. So what it's doing is delaying us. And like I said, the 12 people, right, that we sponsored, well, now we have to pay again. Because once you disturb it, you know, they're just telling us, well, Jeff, we can't do nothing now, right? It's like starting over. And if it's starting over, guess what they're saying? You got to pay again. So we asking those, right, do not disturb your credit. Everything that she mentioned, please don't use your credit. That's all you got to do is don't touch for 45 days. Don't go out and get no car, don't do no payday loans, none of that stuff. You know, whatever you do, don't even move. Because if you move, they're going to pull your credit. Don't go get an apartment complex. You know, don't try to move because they're going to pull your credit. What we're saying is, right, we're very accurate in our numbers when we say 45 days. They tell us 35 days. We add 10 more days to it. We say 45 days, just not so we won't, you know, get you all upset because it's not done. But if you all disturb your credit, well, it's like us starting all over again. Okay? And what we did is, right, we put a program together where, like we was telling you, in 1 year's time, right, you'll be exactly where we're at because you'll be our business partners. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you to become a business partner with us. The only way we're going to be able to do is if you flip a deal. If you flip a deal, then you got some money. Then you invest your money into us, and you invest your money into projects, right, that you can make more money. That's what we're trying to do. So we have 5 people, right, that just had issues, period, even going into Credit Check Total. All right, and I just want to bring one individual up, right, because this individual, since August 5th or August 8th, one of them days, right, he's been trying to get his credit pulled, and to this day, still haven't got it done. Now, it's not his fault, though. See, he didn't disturb his credit, right? He just couldn't even get open Credit Check Total. I just want him to come up and speak real quick, right, on his experience and what he had. And the reason why I want to do this, so you all understand, it's not easy, right? We try to make it as simple as possible. Sometimes it's even out of our control. We tell you what to do, but guess what? Sometime on the other end, this is what happens. So, Frank, can you come just real quick, right, and just give a quick scenario of what you just did? Do the best you can. Do the best you can.
Good morning, all of you, and welcome. I am Frank Enix. I have been practicing law for 50 years. I'm now retired. I believe firmly in what Jeff is doing here. And he says you have to fix your credit. Well, after 3 divorces and putting kids through law school and going through all kinds of stuff, my credit is horrible. So Jeff said go to creditchecktotal.com and fill in all of the information, become a member there, and they'll give you your 3 things. From the 3 credit sources are Equifax, Experience, and TransUnion. And when you can pull those 3 and get those 3 scores, then you turn them over to Annette. And Annette then can give them to the individual who will fix your credit. I started trying to pull them, and they kept telling me, sorry, there's some issue you're having with your Social Security number. Well, this is the same Social Security number I've had since I was 18 years old, and I'm approaching 80 pretty soon. So I went back, I talked to him, I talked to the person. Sometimes it's very difficult to get a live person. So for 2 or 3 days, I finally got a live person. After I got a live person, they said they were going to Tech. It went to Tech and they would call me. Tech never called me. So finally, Jeff suggested that I go to ScoreSense, which is another one that I think that individuals can work with. Went to ScoreSense. I flew with them for 2 or 3 weeks, had the same problem. Finally, I ran across a website that said you can go to annual credit report, annual credit report request form. I filled this form out. I sent a copy to all of the other ones, all of the other three, and I sent all of my documentation. I sent a copy of my Social Security card. I sent a copy of my driver's license. I said, this is me, it's been me, and whatever issues you are having, I'm not sure. Experian did send me a letter and said they had 3 versions of my Social Security number. And I'm guessing that when people send in stuff on the, to the various agencies, they send some Social Security number with it, and it may not be your Social Security number. And I'm assuming that the issue that I have had is that when people have been sending stuff on my credit, they have been sending Social Security numbers and they didn't match what I was trying to tell them. So hopefully these people in the next 2, and so it's throwing me behind, and trust me, it's frustrating. But you just push through the frustration, you don't give up, you just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. I have never given up. Every day or two I work on this until something happens, kind of a thing. So I am looking for them to give me back my credit stuff in about 2 weeks, and hopefully doing that, and I also sent a copy to the other 3. Hopefully they will figure out what's wrong. Let me just read you the quick letter I sent. Frankie Minix, 5900 Holland Street, Henryville, California. I have been trying to get my 3 credit reports from Credit Check Toll, free credit report, Score Sense, an annual credit report for the last 2 months without any success. They keep telling me there's some problem with my Social Security number that prevents them from giving me my report. I finally ran upon a site that told me to send this application. I am enclosing my application with all of the information. It is said you need to send me my 3 reports and hopefully fix whatever problem the aforementioned services have had in giving me my report. Told them I practice, and these are my addresses. Sometimes they have different addresses because people move from time to time. I've moved. But I usually have stayed put for 10, 15 years in one place. But over the last 30 years or so, I've had 2 or 3 addresses. And so they have straightened out my addresses and all that stuff. But I just wanted to say to you that it is frustrating sometimes, depending on how bad your credit is and how long you've been dealing with credit, that it may be frustrating, but you just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And if nothing else works, if you can call me or call Jeff to call me, I can give you a copy of this application where you can send in to an annual credit report request form, and they'll take 2 weeks to try to straighten out whatever issues you have. But I just want to say, God bless, and hopefully we can push this thing through.
Thank you very much, Frank.